What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. So this is one of my personal favorites. We will be doing the TBR video. So as crazy as it is September 4th of 2024 today, and I am honestly in shock that we're already in September, but it is what it is. So that being said, we are kind of entering into that end of summer into fall transition. So I definitely selected books that kind of fit that vibe for me. Lots of cozy mystery, thriller vibes, dark academia, those types of feels, but also a little bit of romance hints here and there was the vibe that I was going for this month. So I do have a pretty ambitious, I would say, collection of books that I'm going to try and read. So that is, fingers crossed, the goal for today. So we'll see how that goes. But that being said, I still wanted to at least have all these books in my pile to see if I can get to them this month, because they have been on my physical TBR for way too long, guys. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Jaya. Thank you so much for joining me today in J-Base Corner. If you're new here, welcome. We talk everything books with a little bit of sprinkle of here and there randomness, travel, fashion, that type of thing. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. Thank you for supporting me, and thank you for being a part of this bookish community. I love the fact that you guys comment and leave things for me to talk back and forth with you guys when it comes to books. I think books are something that should be shared and enjoyed, and having a community to do that is so wonderful. So thank you again for being here. Without further ado, let's get into the TBR. So in total, I have about 14 books in my selections this month. A couple of them are spillovers from last month. So actually just one is a spillover from last month that I'm currently working my way through, which is going to be discussed. And then also another book is part of a series that I started last month that I'm hoping to finish this month. First and foremost, in the list, we have The Inn at Tanya Falls. Now, this book is the book selected for the P&G book club that I'm a part of. That book club is also known as Paper and Glam. It is led by a wonderful lady named Lisa Marie Landreth. She is wonderful. She set this up back, I want to say almost 10 years ago at this point, probably. And it started off on YouTube and has since grown. It's a wonderful group of ladies who get together to talk about books. If you want to do the God and Glam section that she does as well, that's also really lovely. Very open-minded, very welcoming. I personally am Hindu, so I don't attend those sessions, but it is really nice to be a part of such a wonderful group of women. And we discuss books on the last Thursday of every month, with the exception of November and December. Those we do the third week just because those are big holiday months. So this upcoming month of September, we will be reading The Inn at Tanya Falls. I have no idea what this is about, so let's find out together. A heartwarming small town story about starting over, healing, and falling in love. Oh, that's so perfect for the fall. Nell Swift has never taken a risk in her life, but when her best friend dies and sends her on a scavenger hunt from beyond the grave, she finds herself setting off for an adventure. First stop, a charming little Vermont town where she doesn't know a single person. Still mourning, Nell finds comfort in the cozy inn and the friendly locals who welcome her, including an adorable resident Labrador and a grumpy but attractive Forester and his 6-year-old son. Nell feels more at ease here than she's ever felt anywhere else, her heart healing bit by bit each day. But her time in Tanya Falls is coming to an end, and Nell may have to make the most courageous decision of all. Is she willing to start her life all over again and make this new town her forever home? So I think that sounds really cute. I think it'll be a great fall vibe. I will probably read this earlier this month just because closer to the end of the month, I think I'm going to be more in my dark academia thriller kind of phase, getting ready for spooky month with October. But I am excited to read this book with the Paper and Glam girlies. Next up, I have the book that I'm currently reading. This is the Lucy Score third book in the Riley Thorne series. I have so far loved those books. The first one was a solid 5-star for me, which was The Dead Guy Next Door. And then the second book was The Body in the Closet, which I just finished. That one was not as good, but still very entertaining. First book was a solid 5-star. Second book was a solid 4-star. So far, I'm already loving this book. I literally started it yesterday and I'm already on page 68. So I'm very, very, very excited to make some headway in this book today. I did take the day off today because I have been traveling a lot lately, and so I'm just focusing on cleaning the house, you know, like true fall cleaning. I think that we should really do fall cleaning and spring cleaning. So I'm trying to do both this year. So I'm really working on that. Got to get the cat litter boxes cleaned, like doing all the home stuff today, as well as self-care day. So we will be reading, we will be eating healthy, we will be going to the gym for a light workout and a walk. I'll be going to the chiropractor, a massage. It's going to be a lovely day. And so that being said, this should be a fun one to read while I am relaxing. The next book in that series is The Body in the Backyard. I'm very excited to get to this one as well. I think this is going to be very entertaining, in particular because this one actually involves Riley's ex-husband, who is a pain in the butthole, showing up at her door asking for help. So it's going to be really interesting seeing that dynamic playing out in the book. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. I think in general, these books are so much fun. I see myself actually rereading them in the future as well. I just think they're so much fun. They remind me a lot of Finlay Donovan series, which I also really love. That's also very cozy mystery vibe, cozy thriller vibe. Or like Four Aunties and a Wedding, like that one, or Dial A for Aunties, like that one was great. So I'm definitely thinking that I'm opening myself up to this cozy mystery genre, and I'm really enjoying it. So we'll see how the rest of these books go. Then we have How I'll Kill You. Now this book has been on my TBR for a while. I actually bought it earlier this year and I meant to read it that month itself, but I never got a chance to actually sit down and dig into this. And I feel like between the pink cover, the awesome chocolates, and just the fact that it's about serial killer sisters, it just sounds like it's going to be a really fun book to read. So I am very excited to get my teeth into this book. This will probably be later in the month for me because this is like true thriller crime from what I understand. But it should be an entertaining read. This will also be a physical read because I could not find audiobooks. So far all the books I've shown have been books that I plan on physically reading, the exception being the Inn at Tanya Falls. I did find that on Audible, so I'll probably do a mix of that particular book. Then I have Canadian Boyfriend. This has also been sitting on my bookshelf forever. This has nothing to do with the theme of this month. It's not particularly fall, it's not particularly thriller vibes, it's not particularly summer romance. As we're transitioning into the fall, this book is essentially out there, but it just is so cute. Look at that cover, guys. I love the pink, I love the green, I love the vibes. So basically the story goes that this little girl here in high school meets a Canadian hockey player and decides she really likes him, starts telling people that's her boyfriend just to keep people off of her trail because she really wants to focus on just being the best dancer that she can be. And then all of a sudden, years later at a ballet session, she happens to meet, lo and behold, pro hockey player Mike Martin, who she has been pretending is her fake boyfriend up until this point. And so suddenly the two of them are meeting face to face. So I think this should be a really fun read. It sounds like it might be kind of second chance, but I'm not 100% sure. But what really sold it for me is on the front of the book, it says a heartwarming, healing rom-com from Abby Jimenez. And I love Abby Jimenez. I recently discovered her this year and I have been obsessed with all of her books, with the most recent 3 books in her trilogy, Just for the Summer, the Yours Truly, and Part of Your World series was incredible. Like, I cried in every book. I loved every book. They were solid 5-star reads for me. So I'm super excited to see where this book takes us. Then next up, we have Hook, Line, and Sinker by Tessa Bailey. This is the sequel to Just for the Summer, and I really enjoyed Just for the Summer. We read that for one of my book clubs, and so now I've been really tempted to pick this one up. This is the follow-up story following Fox Thornton, who is a fisherman, as well as Hannah, who is the sister of the main girl from It Happened One Summer. So I'm really excited to see where this goes, with City Girl meeting, like, you know, flirtatious Crab King fisherman. in this small town city. So I'm really excited to read this. I'm very excited to see where it goes. I think it should be a nice, fun read, and I think it's going to be perfect kind of ending that summer tone off. So as soon as we finish up with the Lucy Score books, this will be the next one that I probably sink my teeth into. This one I also have on Audible, so I'll probably do a mix of both. Then, as far as Allie Hazelwood goes, I have 2 Allie Hazelwood books left in my physical TBR that I have not yet read. One of them is Checkmate, which is her young adult novel. I saw a lot of mixed reviews about this book online, which is why I wasn't able to fully delve into it right away. But I do think that it should be something that needs to be done, just because there's no point in it just sitting on my shelf. And for the most part, I really enjoy Allie Hazelwood's writing. For those of you who don't know, she is the one who wrote The Love Hypothesis, Love Theoretically, and Love on the Brain. And then just most recently, she wrote Not in Love, which was her most recent release that came out this summer. So this book came out, I want to say, over a year ago. When did this get published? Let's find out. This book was published in 2023, so it came out last year, and I have not yet read this one. The other book that she published earlier this year was Bride, and that one is basically following the story of, I believe, a standalone vampire and werewolf and their marriage in order to keep their clans unified. So I think that should be really fun to read too, so I'm excited to see where those take me. So I'll be getting into that next. So we'll see how that goes. But those are the other 2 Allie Hazel books that I haven't read. So I want to read this one this month, and then I'm thinking I'll read Bride next month since it's kind of paranormal romance, and I feel like that's more appropriate for the October Halloween season. But we will be attempting to get through Checkmate this month as well, and hopefully, because it is young adult, it'll go by fast. I'm a little nervous about the chess. I do have memories of playing chess with my grandparents. I really enjoyed watching my 2 grandfathers play chess with each other when I was growing up. That was always fun to watch. My dad and I have played chess together. So I do have very happy memories of chess, but it's not a game that I'm necessarily obsessed with. And I don't know how much I'm going to like the chess jargon. So that's what I'm a little worried about, but we'll see how this goes. Did I talk at all about what the book is actually about? I'm so sorry. I talked about Bride. I didn't talk about this. This is basically about 2 people who are known as the chess, like the main guy is the best chess player. And everyone's like, oh my God, he's like the reigning world champion, bad boy of chess. And he's like super, super attractive. And then we have Mallory, who's like, I'm just done with chess. And she just wants to focus on her sisters and on her mom. But then she happens to play a game and she happens to sweep this Nolan Sawyer under the rug. And they're budding romance from there. So I think it'll be interesting to see where this book will take us. Then I have, so this author, I love this author. Taylor Jenkins Reid is one of my favorite authors, and she's done a lot of books within the same world as well as standalone books. So one of the standalones that I haven't read yet is After I Do. It has been sitting on my bookshelf for quite some time now, and so I really want to dig my teeth into this. I really, really enjoyed all of her books in the 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo series. So there was that one, there was Malibu Rising, there was I think Daisy Hates had a little bit of reference to 7 Husbands as well, and then there was also Carrie Soto Is Back, and all of those books were like very touching books that I really enjoyed. In terms of her separate reads, I really, really, really loved the story of One True Loves. I really, really love that book, and so I'm really excited to see After I Do and where it takes us. This book is following Lauren and Ryan's marriage after they've kind of hit a breaking point. They've just really not been getting along, and they decided to take 1 year apart. And the only rule is they cannot contact each other. And it's basically them finding themselves, understanding the beauty of marriage and the monogamy concept, and whether or not they find their way back to each other. So I'm excited to read this book and kind of see where it takes me as a newlywed. newlywed-ish. I mean, I'm hitting my 2-year mark. So is that still newlywed? I don't know. I consider newlyweds until 5 years because everyone has always told me that 5-year mark is kind of like when you've really, really settled into your routine and you know your partner really well. Arjun and I are wonderful together 99% of the time, but that 1% of the time where we want to strangle each other, I'm curious as to see how this couple deals with their problems. I think marriage is a beautiful thing. I think it's a choice you make every day, and I am so thankful that I have my husband and that I chose him. But I am very curious to see how Taylor navigates this question of post-marriage when you're kind of at that point where you've hit your breaking point, all the negatives are kind of stacking up on top of each other, and you may have forgotten why you love this person or why you should be grateful for this person. So I'm excited to see where this book will take us. Then we have another trilogy. Now this is like really where we're getting into those fall vibes for me. We are going to be doing the Atlas 6 series this year. I really have been enjoying my dark academia books. I read The Secret History last month and it was incredible. It pissed me off to no end. I was so angry when I read it. I was so upset. I was so frustrated. I was yelling at the book. I was screaming at the book. I was screaming at the characters. But that is the kind of book I needed to read because it really elicited strong reactions from me. And I think those books that make you think about society and social norms and, the depth of human emotion and how quickly we can be set off balance, especially if our own inner team is not okay. You know what I mean? I think that was a really, really fun read. So I'm curious to see where this series will take us. Now, I know that Atlas 6 has a little bit more magic. I know it's 6 talented magicians who are selected to take place in the Alexandrian Society. It's a secret society, and they're only accepting a small number of the 6. So it's a question of whether they'll all survive, whether they'll make it through the ranks. And so I'm curious to see where this series is going to take me. I've heard wonderful things about Olivia Blake's writing. I actually really want to pick up some of her other books as well. But I decided that before I pick up more books by an author that I haven't read yet, I should at least read what I already have. So this is like 2 birds, 1 stone. Also, I love the covers of these books. Like, tell me that isn't a fall vibe. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? I'm obsessed. And then love. I'm obsessed. I love so much. So super, super excited to jump into these books and see where Olivia Blake is going to take me this month. Next up, I have Things You Save in a Fire. This is a Catherine Center book that has been sitting on my shelf forever. It is about a firefighter who used to live in Texas and then she moves to Boston, and now she has to figure out how to survive Boston. Now, here's the thing. I'm from Texas, so I'm very excited to see the Texas references. And then on top of that, I spent 2 months in Boston. So I'm a little bit familiar with Boston in the sense that I've done a winter month in Boston and then I've done a summer month in Boston. And so I'm curious to see what world of Boston we get to see. I didn't get to necessarily meet firefighters or anything when I was there, but I was working in healthcare. And so going to the hospitals and things like that, you see all of these other, professions, and you see so much going on in that city. It's such a busy city, and it's such a ambitious city, I would say. So I'm curious to see where this book will take us and what Catherine Center is going to do to make me bawl like a baby this time. So this is something I'm looking forward to. And then earlier I had mentioned that I'm actively reading or listening to a book right now that is part of a series that I didn't quite finish last month, but I am working on now, and that is Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross. This is basically following the story of 2 writers who are in the middle of a war between gods and stuck in a position where they are asked to narrate the war without actually being a part of the war themselves. They have loved ones that they have lost. They have interesting relationships with their families. There's a lot going on in their lives, and they have their own rivalry to see who will be the best writer, which obviously will then become enemies to lovers. So that's kind of the vibes of these books. Divine Rivals was beautiful. I really enjoyed that book. Gave it a solid 4 stars. It pulled all kinds of emotions out of me. So I'm excited to see where Ruthless Vows will take me. So far, I am on chapter 10. which in this book of the month copy is 82 pages in. We're about to head into Laundry for Old Souls. So we'll see where this book takes me. This is my go-to listen whenever I am cleaning, whenever I am walking at the gym, whenever I am driving around seeing patients. So today it's probably going to be my listen while I am thoroughly cleaning out my kitchen. So we'll see how that goes. But I am very, very excited to read all these books. But yeah, those are all 14. So altogether we have Ruthless Vows, which is currently being read, The Blast from the Past, which is currently being read, The Body in the Backyard, which will be read next, and then we have The Inn at Tanya Falls, which will be the next Audible that we listen to / read. Then we have The Canadian Boyfriend, Hookline and Sinker, and after I do for kind of that end of summer vibes, we have Checkmate for just a nice little young adult palate cleanser in the middle. And then I'm going to dive into all of the intensity with the thrillers and the dark academia with the Atlas 6 series and How I'll Kill You. So I'm really excited for those thrillers. And then we will also be reading Things You Save in a Fire, which I've heard Catherine Center books are perfect for fall because they pull all your emotions out, they make you think, and it's just that vibe. So I'm really excited for that. October is also going to be a very, very fun month, but I'm not going to ruin the surprise with what's up on TBR for that. But I'm really hoping I get through all of these books so I can actually make it to my goal TBR for October. But that basically wraps up what I will be hopefully reading this month. Let me know if any of the books caught your attention or if any of them are on your physical TBR as well. If you have read any of the books and you loved them or hated them, definitely leave your comments below because I would love to know your thoughts on why and what you thought about it. For those of you oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot to mention one book. The other book that I'll be reading for our book club, the Overbooked Book Club, is Beartown by Frederick Backman. And I loved Frederick Backman's Anxious People. So I am very excited to read this book. I've heard wonderful, wonderful reviews. Unfortunately, I don't have the physical copy of that book yet. It is coming on Amazon, so it should be arriving soon. But I'm super, super, super pumped to read that one too. So actually, we have 15 books on the TBR this month. But I think we can do it. It's a little ambitious, but we'll see how it goes. But for sure, Beartown, The Inn at Tanya Falls, the Riley Score books, most likely the Olivia Blake books, and Ruthless Vows will be completed. The rest are up in the air, so we'll see. So definitely check out my video in the future to see what I read, what I didn't read, what I thought, and give me your comments as well, because I like all them comments for sure. Once again, thank you so much for joining me in this little corner of the internet. If you're new to the channel, definitely consider hitting that subscribe button and that notification bell. If you liked our content today, I put out bookish related content with a little sprinkle of here and there randomness every Wednesday and Sunday, and would love to catch you in the next video as well. For those of you who are returning, thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for spending your time with me, and I look forward to seeing you guys again soon. Bye.